and a ringing endorsement from President Trump today in one of the most consequential midterm elections in the country. The president tweeting in part, quote, "Ted Cruz has done so much for Texas. Ted has long had my strong endorsement." For his part, campaigning in Texas, Cruz was very grateful for the love note.
I appreciated the president's tweet this morning. I'm very glad that the president is coming on Monday to come down to Texas for a rally in Houston.
That is so sweet, because it wasn't that long ago that those two were trading devastating insults, starting with Trump coming up with a nasty nickname for his then primary opponent.
Lyin Ted Cruz. He's Lyin Ted. He's no good, I'm telling you. Lyin apostrophe, Lyin Ted.
Then it got even more bizarre. Trump suggesting Cruz's father was somehow linked to the assassination of JFK.
I mean, what was he doing with Lee Harvey Oswald shortly before the death, before the shooting? It's horrible.
And going after Cruz's wife, Heidi, threatening in a tweet to, quote, "spill the beans on her," and then retweeting this unflattering photo comparing her to Melania.
It is not acceptable for a big, loud New York bully to attack my wife. I don't get angry often, but you mess with my wife, you mess with my kids, that'll do it every time. Donald, you're a sniveling coward, and leave Heidi the hell alone.
Which led to this at the Republican National Convention.
God bless each and every one of you, and God bless the United States of America.
That's good. I like that movement. And what you heard there at the end was Senator Cruz getting booed at the Republican National Convention because he did not explicitly endorse Donald Trump for president during his speech. But we're in a different period now. That was then, this is now. And Amanda, you used to work for Ted Cruz. Are you surprised by this, kindling of romance that we're seeing between these two?
Yeah, but I guess it's better for Cruz that Trump is saying nice things about him rather than negative things. The thing that I actually think is most bizarre in the debate that Ted Cruz had with his opponent last night, Beto O'Rourke, Beto picked up Trump's attacks on Cruz, went off with the Lyin Ted. And I just think that's so funny because Democrats supposedly think like Trump is this terrible moral character. So why are they using his talking points?
Well, to be clear, Beto O'Rourke was not lobbing personal insults.
No, he said Donald Trump was right.
We have the tape. We have the tape. Let's roll the tape. I just want to show the debate last night, Congressman Beto O'Rourke and Senator Ted Cruz. And here is the page out of the Trump nasty nickname book that Beto O'Rourke took.
Senator Cruz is not going to be honest with you. He's going to make up positions and votes that I've never held or have ever taken. He's dishonest. It's why the president called him Lyin Ted, and it's why the nickname stuck, because it's true.
Exactly. So I'd like to know.
So wait, you agree with Trump now?
What I am saying is what Beto O'Rourke was laying out is that Ted Cruz has a history of not telling the truth to voters. He has a history of misrepresenting his position.
This is why Beto's going to lose.
And that's what he said. Beto never said, that's why you're Lyin Ted. He presented the argument and then inserted a very poignant attack line that I know folks don't like from President Trump. Look, the fact of the matter here is, though, if I was Ted Cruz, I don't care how down I was in the polls. My moral dignity, my dignity and my self-respect would not allow me to take support from someone that talked about my father, talked about my wife, lambasted my character, and attacked me personally.
Well, I'm just going to say, if Beto's the next great Southern hope to save the Democratic Party and run for president in 2020, he's going to have to do better than recycle Donald Trump's attack.
So this happens in politics, right? I mean, it does, Ted Kennedy says nasty things about Jimmy Carter and then endorses him. John McCain and George W. Bush hated each other. I don't think that's too strong a word. They hated each other, but ultimately came to a political agreement and alliance. The difference here is that the stuff that Trump himself has said, Bush had surrogates say things nasty about McCain and his family, the stuff Trump himself has said personally about his dad, about his wife, spilling the beans, it's just remarkable to see. And I get Trump needs Texas to stay red and Cruz needs to win. I get that, but it is surprising.
I mean, it would be surprising if you had, except for the last 2 years, have made nothing surprising anymore. Yeah, the degree to which, I mean, Trump's behavior has been normalized, certainly mostly by Republicans. But I would say, honestly, I think that's a mistake that what Beto did yesterday, citing the president. Even the president says you're a lying Ted. Well, wait, does Beto O'Rourke think that Trump is a reliable source? I think that doesn't work in politics very well, in my opinion. It's clever. It's like kind of thing a consultant tells you, this is clever. You can cite Trump against Ted, and then some of the Trump supporters will think that we'll go anti-Ted, but it's a mistake. He had a good message. It was an upbeat message. It was a bipartisan message. It was Cruz's too right-wing. Cruz wants to cut your Medicare and Social Security. Cruz wants to raise taxes, help get tax breaks to the rich. A perfectly sensible message. Maybe it would even work in Texas, even though it's a tough state. And I do think it sort of confuses things for a Democrat to now be citing Trump.
Well, on a lighter note, Trump did say when he went to Texas, where he's going on Monday to campaign for him, that he was going to fill the biggest stadium he could find.
Yeah.
If you're any kind of football fan,
he said something that wasn't
if you
true.
are any kind of football fan, you know that the stadium they've picked on Monday is certainly not the biggest one. They're not going to Jerry World or anything like that.
Where are they going? It's like an 8,000 seater.
Much smaller in Houston, much smaller. So it's just interesting. The president tweeted he's going to find the biggest stadium in Texas. You know that they've got big stadiums in Texas, and it's a little bit smaller than the 100,000 people that Jerry World holds.
If I can just say, the fact that Beto O'Rourke is even within striking distance for Ted Cruz is something noteworthy. So maybe, look, I hope Beto pulls it out in November, but I'll be pleasantly surprised if he does.
He's going to get a lot of money to lose by 5.
He's opened up the door to allow someone else to come in after that.
Speaking
and the next time make it happen.
Speaking of Trump.